Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hi, I'm Josh Govadport. I'm the head wrestling coach at Gilmer County High School. Along with me today are Daniel Reynosa over here. He wrestled 170 pounds for us and was 5th place in state. Miguel Jacinto was state runner-up. He finishes as a 2-time state placer for us, and he wrestled 152 pounds. Next to him is Arturo Gonzalez, who's a state finalist and a state placer for us this year, getting 3rd at 120 pounds. Next to me is Dylan Galloway, who is our state champion this year at 220 pounds, and he finishes as a 3-time state placer, a 2-time state finalist on top of that. Next to me right here is Tony Alea, who finished as a 2-time state qualifier and 3rd place in state this year. Next to him is Owen Moss, who's a 2-time state placer. This year finished 3rd for us. Next to him is Carson Bentley, who's a 2-time state placer and finished 5th for us this year. Next to him is probably the most important senior we had is Lexi McClure, who's been our manager for us for 4 years and was our head manager this year. So these are all seniors in this class of 2022.
Coach, if you would, just walk us through start to finish of this year. It's a long, grueling wrestling season. It's 2 seasons put into one with duels and then traditionals right after. Just walk us through from start to finish. I mean, you guys started out the year. Were you favorites heading into this year, or?
I really felt like, I felt like we were. I think always in this room, we're the team to beat, and then we always put ourselves at that in that regard because you have to. You got to believe you're going to do it before you do it. We started back in the spring after spring break last year. Last year obviously it was. We didn't finish the way we wanted to. We got 2nd place in state duels. We were 4th in traditional. Obviously some side factors outside of our control contributed to that. But outside of that, all our guys had a chip on their shoulder walking out of state last year. So we went to work. That's the only thing you can do is you go to work and you try to do more and get everybody on board with that. And starting in the spring, we started optional workouts. We had a tremendous amount of wrestlers come out, and that went through the summer where we went to Disney duels, go to the tournaments, having our summer wrestling season really just in a month. We slam as much as we can in there. And then coming into preseason, which is about the 2nd or 3rd week in August, and we're working, we're conditioning, we're getting mat time, and we're getting better, and we're doing it together. And I think the big message going into this season was if we're unselfish, and we said right here before when we talked about it, if we're unselfish, we would win a state championship. And there's a lot of things that apply to being unselfish, but the tough parts about that are showing up every day, putting in the work, believing in each other, helping each other get better. So that led us to the beginning of the year. We always feel like we're one of the most conditioned teams out there, and I think all year long we've kind of kept that status. Early in the year, we had some great wins, won several tournaments. We beat Rockmart at the Alexander duels, won at the Etowah duels. We beat really quality opponents. We went to some big tournaments. Cleveland duels was really tough this year. We got 4th place in it. And I felt like we were battle tested going into the postseason for duels. Now, obviously, when we went through, we had to beat North Hall. We, had in the state finals last year on our way there. We beat everybody handily going into the state dual finals, and we had a great plan. Ultimately, a few things out of our control, but mostly, really, they came to wrestle and we did too, and we lost a close one by a point. I'd like to see the end of that duel finish out a little differently, especially because there was a scoring error and some other things. But ultimately, they beat us in places that they needed to win, and they came out on top. That was pretty devastating, to lose that when we've worked so hard to get to that point. All these seniors, we're senior heavy. There's more seniors that weren't at state. They've worked very hard to get to that point, and that was a gut punch. And, we kind of had that Monday off. We came back to work on Tuesday, and I think that was the best thing for us was getting back together. And we just changed gears. We just said, look, we've lost that one. There's nothing we can do except move forward and win the traditional state championship. And instead of folding, instead of breaking, we worked harder and we continued to improve all the way to or through the traditional tournament. And we found ourselves in another dogfight with Rockmart, and we came out on top of that one.
So you go from the heartbreak of duels to just the joy of winning state. Coach, have you guys have you had this group of guys win traditionals before?
No, this is the first state title for this group in general. So the last state title was Coach Schneider's second to last year. So the last 6 years we've been in the state finals, no state championships up till our traditional one, but we've been second in every dual state title. And then we finished second, third, fourth, and fifth in traditional. So this is our highest finish of either in the last 6 years.
What is it like on the traditionals when you know it's on you, like you can win? I'm talking to you wrestlers here. When you know you can win yourself some bling and you can help your team out. Obviously, you guys won this year. What's it like? Just going through those couple of days, because it's 3-4 days?
It's a 2-day tournament.
2 days.
We're down there 3-4 days.
Yeah.
For it completely, but it's a 2-day for the guys and for the girls.
So what's it like? Just one of you guys walk me through. What's it like? You get out there first day, you get on the mat, and then for you guys that kind of got pushed out early to be going back through wrestlebacks. What kind of take me through? What's that like?
First, it's an exciting moment to be there. The first day, you just got to get your first match out of the way, wrestle your best, and then go on from that into your next match, where hopefully you'll be warmed up enough to wrestle even better than you did in your first match. And then making it to the finals it's very nerve-wracking. Like last year, I was so nervous it messed up my whole match. But this year I felt a lot better in my wrestling ability this year to win state title.
Coach, on that final day, were you guys down or were you ahead the whole time?
So we finished the first day, and again, I mean, these guys could really talk about. There's so much that goes into it. I mean, we finished the first day, we were up 14 points, which sounds like a lot, but in reality, that could be one match swing at a pivotal point somewhere with Rockmart. We had pretty much an equal amount of guys in the second day, so at that point, we already know who's in the finals. We already know who's in the console finals. So there's really only 2 rounds to be wrestled. So you're down to the nitty-gritty. You're down to 28 matches to determine who wins or loses. And we had 3 guys in the third and fourth place match. They had 3 guys in third and fourth place match. And you're looking at points and where things are and like, all right, well, they'll lose to this guy and they won't get a pin here. Well, they have everything go right for them. So they get, a pin, they get another win over a really quality guy, and then they get a forfeit at 220, so they get bonus points. So now that lead that we have is shrunk. Now we also have 3 guys in there, and what's huge is, they stepped up. Like Arturo has to wrestle a guy from Adairsville who's beaten him 3 times in a row in close matches, and he beats that guy for third and fourth. Owen goes out and, he loses in the semifinals to the state champion, loses by 4 or 5 points. Well, that guy goes out and pins the guy in 40 seconds. Owen's probably the second best guy in the state. He just ended up on the wrong side of the bracket. But he goes out, gives up a takedown early, and then comes back and beats the guy in a very convincing fashion. That's huge points for us. Tony goes out, upset in the quarters. We thought we might get another match there against a different opponent. He battles back, wins an overtime match to get to the Conso semi-match where he has a rematch with Rockmart's Jace Davis, who has beaten him 3 times in a row. And Tony goes out to proceed to dominate the match. That huge win. And then he gets a pin for the console final. So not only is he picking up 2 points, he's picking up 4. And when the match wasn't determined by, the tournament wasn't determined by more than the 152-pound final at Miggy's, when he just knew that, he doesn't need to give up a pin or a tag, and we win a state championship, I mean, that's tight. You know, it's coming down to the last few matches. And at that point, we were up 1.5 with Dylan still left to wrestle. So any one match anywhere could have been the difference in the tournament. You know, when you look back at the decisive, point scoring, any one match could have been the difference. So it's really cool to watch these guys go out there and to win it in that way. I felt like it was like a Rocky fight. It was just we were battling to the very end of who's going to stay on their feet the longest. Because each one of these guys, Daniel had to beat a guy he lost to at sectionals. You know, the week before he lost like 15-3. He goes out and beats the guy in the quarters to place for the first time. You know, Bentley goes out and pins the guy that was number one guy from his sectional, on his way to placing in state. You know, everybody has these pivotal matches. Dylan had a tough bracket, and he wins a very dominating 3-1 match. It sounds like, it was very close, but he dominated through the whole thing. Juan, who's not here, who's our 106-pound state champion, he won in the last 1 second of his match in the finals. So it was just exciting from start to finish. And there's all these little moments that built up to make that. And I've told people this, but I think any one of those people here or on our team would have given up an individual state title for the team to win a team title. And that just shows you what kind of team they are, how much they care about each other, and what this team was all about this year.
Let's talk about rivals. I've heard you mention Rockmart a lot, and usually when we talk about rivals and who you hate on the field or on the mat, that's what can get the kids talking. So who's you guys' biggest rival? I mean, obviously there's a Gilmer-Pickens rival, but probably not so much in wrestling. But you guys, is it Rockmart for you guys, or is it?
I would say the last 2 years it's probably been Rockmart because they are in our classification now. They move down next year. But, we've battled them a lot the last 2 years, and I think our team has actually gotten kind of tight with their team in a competitive sense. But you're at these tournaments all day together, and then guys start talking. They're probably a lot like us, as far as how their team works and the chemistry of it. But, that's one we definitely want to win. We wanted to definitely beat North Hall this year. We want to, whenever we see a Daresville, they want to beat us and we want to beat them. If we get to wrestle Fannin or anybody else on 515 for that matter, those are all like little mini rivalries as well. I think a lot of times it depends on the year, who all is in the same classification, who's in the same area and region. But I think definitely this past 2 years, Rockmart's been on our mind, and I knew that was going to be the team that we were going to have to face to win a state championship was them, and they're very, very good. So it was not anything given to these guys. For their work. I mean, we really had to work hard for that because they wanted it too.
Guys, growing up, kids want to be a member of their high school's football team. I know a lot of you guys play dual sports. With the tradition that comes along with Gilmer wrestling, is that something you guys growing up always wanted to get into? You always wanted to get on the mat and wrestle for the Bobcats, or is it something, I'm sure it's different for each person, but I would just think with all the tradition that kind of comes along with Gilmer wrestling, that's kind of something. I mean, you've got little kids looking up to you. I'm sure you were once one of those little kids. Is any of you guys grown up always coming through the program, trying to get up here?
Yeah, through middle school, 7th, 8th grade, that was the one thing I always wanted to do was make it to state and wrestle for high school, which I ended up doing, and I remember going to the state tournament 8th grade year and watching my brother wrestle, and that was the one thing I really wanted to do.
Everybody here has come through the program. It's from pretty small to at least through middle school. So when they talk about wanting to get their name up on the board, I mean, that's the thing. The people up on this board, they're like little heroes or celebrities for these guys growing up. They know who these guys are. They know who the state champs are. They know where they want to be. So, I mean, I think that's a part of it. Just the other day when we came back and we had some fanfare, we came back from state, and some of the families were in here congratulating the guys coming back and the team. I see little brothers in here looking up to their brothers who just did something special. And that's what builds that. You see your older brothers, you see your different siblings, you see family members, and you just see your neighbors, your community members, and you want to be a part of something that's neat like that. I think when they're exposed to it, then it means more. You kind of visualize that, what that means later on. But all these guys are program kids. They grew up here, elementary school, middle school, high school. They've worked hard, and some have wrestled for longer than others, but they're program kids, and that makes it even more special to win a state title with a group like that.
Well, you guys are all seniors, and Coach, before you talk about what these guys mean to you, I just want to give you guys a chance to say what being able to come through this program and wrestling here has meant for you, and tell us if you're headed somewhere else to wrestle, what your next plans are, or just anything that you want to add as you are on your way out.
Coming through the program, it's like a privilege wrestling at Gilmer. You get to wrestle for, people like Coach Monroe and Coach Haynes and Dorsey and the guys that have been here for years, and they're kind of legends when it comes to, in middle school or high school wrestling and wrestling in Georgia in general. And then you get to come up here, and for 4 years you get to spend time with, Coach Go Bad and people like that. And it's like a privilege. Not everybody has coaches that are this renowned and this popular within the state.
So for me, it's special. I think this year has been a great year, seeing like all the boys I grew up with and like wrestling and stuff finally like get something that they wanted for so long. I think that's what's special to me and everything.
So wrestling for this team is it's been really great. I think it changed me as a person. Made me a better person, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And I will be wrestling in college soon. I don't know where yet, but I've been looking at some places. And
wrestling for me has changed me a lot. Coming up here and being a backup and just knowing like you could get through anything that you really want to. And I'm just glad Coach Kobat finally got a ring as well. And, I plan on wrestling in college.
Wrestling has changed me to be a better person throughout my years of wrestling. I don't know what to say. I'll be going to Life University next year to wrestle.
I've been wrestling since 5th grade. I have enjoyed a lot of it with all my coaches, and these people are like family with me because I spend a lot of time with them, especially in the holidays, the holiday week. We really don't get time off, so most of the time we're just with them, and I enjoyed every bit with them.
Wrestling to me is like a whole different personality for me. It's like something different. It's like a job, like when you got nothing else to do. But wrestling is just another part of the group you have, part of your life, and you grow up with them, and you have time with them. So that's all.
Wrestling to me is like, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me to discipline myself, and it's taught me to never give up whenever times get rough and stuff like that. And sharing a state title with you guys is an honor. It makes me happy and stuff like that.
Coach, tell us what these guys have meant to you. Obviously, your guys said it for you. Your first ring here. So obviously, this group is definitely pretty special to you. I don't want you to cry or anything, but
This group has been extremely special. They're all special, but this has been the best team I've ever been a part of in my life. Either as a competitor or as a coach. This group is so tight. They've worked so hard, tirelessly. They've had to believe in each other as much as they've had to believe in themselves. And we've been through all the ups and downs. It's amazing when people want to come out for wrestling because it is so hard and it's difficult every single day. Every single day you're going to come into the room, you're going to fight. I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's a controlled fight with rules, and you're going to fight each other. And then you got a coach that's going to be pushing you and telling you to go harder, to do more, get on the line, let's do some sprints, and to continue to push you. And the guys keep coming back every single day. Despite championships or anything else, that's special in itself. But then they take it to another level, and they continue to train and work and grow even more mature and responsible. And you see it right in front of you over the course of years because all these guys weren't starters out the gate. They've had to work and claw and scratch and to get there, and you see them do it. And they don't quit when those things get hard. They just embrace it. And again, that's what life is. It's just dealing with adversity, moving forward. It's not going to be easy. The things you want are not going to be easy to attain. And this group just kept coming back. And every year, we've been second. And we've been second. And instead of fading out or going to do something else, they came back and they worked harder. And they worked harder. And then finally get to that point where they get to share that experience with each other, and I get to share that with them to win a championship. Just to know, hey, one time in your life, for one day, it all came together, and you get to be a champion the rest of your life. And to let that be a validation of all the hard work and effort that you put in, much of it unseen by most everyone, your family, your friends. People don't understand. Unless you're in here on a daily basis, you don't understand the work and the toughness that you have to have. And they keep coming back, and then they never give up, and they go on and win a championship. I mean, that's just something so extremely special to get to be a part of. It's hard to even say, in words what that feels like. And we all get to know that forever, And so it is special. This group is awesome. I mean, we've done so much together. They were just freshmen the other day. And they've worked so hard. They've been such a pleasure, and I've gotten on to everyone in this room at some point or another, but, they didn't take it as men. He's just riding my butt. He wants us to do better, wants more out of us. And I think, the biggest thing is when they leave this program that they're better young men and women than when we got them, even if it's just a little bit. We make a little bit difference there, but that they know how to work hard. They know how to deal with some adversity. And I'm just so proud of them. I can't even really say. It's an amazing feeling. I'm proud of our coaches that have worked tirelessly right next to them the entire time, and just for them to know that it paid off is probably the biggest blessing there.
Well, Coach, guys, appreciate you guys coming in, sitting down, talking to us, and just giving us a little background about your season. Congratulations. We look forward to keeping up with every one of you and what you're going on to do. But appreciate you guys. Anybody got one more thing they want to say besides Go Cats?
Thank you. So back to the team with Rockmart. It was frustrating, having the right score and then having somebody tell you you're wrong. That's what, sucked the most was knowing that you were right and having your reps and everything tell you you're not right, or the other table work you're telling you're not right. It's aggravating. And I think I felt it. I know the boys felt it, but I felt it just as much. And being so close to something, wanting, losing every single, well, not losing, but getting second place for 4 years. It hurt. And, seeing the boys' reaction hurt even worse. You want them. They want it. And I'm just glad that we finally got one, team or individual, it doesn't matter. It's still a team. It's still a first place. And I think that's probably the most important thing for me is seeing them work just as hard as anybody else and finally getting something.